We all know that Huawei has developed its own Harmony operating system. With the support of HarmonyOS, Huawei no longer relies on Google's Android system. Of course, the real HarmonyOS system actually refers to the open-source HarmonyOS, Open Harmony, which is the underlying architecture of HarmonyOS. 3 years after Google cut off the supply, the open-source HarmonyOS ecosystem continues to break the ice. What kind of progress has been made? Google is also developing its own IoT operating system, Fuchsia OS. Is there any hope? The open-source HarmonyOS ecology continues to break the ice. Back in 2019, a lot of big things happened this year. Google obeys the rules and authorizes Huawei to stop GMS services. Without the authorization of GMS services, Huawei's mobile phones released overseas are equivalent to bricks and cannot be used at all. Many application service software and functions based on the Google framework will be suspended. But Huawei did not bow its head, but launched its own HMS service to solve the problem of the mobile service framework. Moreover, HarmonyOS also came into being, an important step towards the domestic operating system. It is estimated that no one could predict the future of HarmonyOS at that time, but now the result is obvious. Huawei plus the equipment of ecological partners. There are about 600 million devices in the market that support the HarmonyOS system. Devices of all sizes, including smartphones, computers, smart screens, refrigerators, dishwashers, etc., can carry HarmonyOS. Only a Huawei mobile phone is needed to call HarmonyOS devices around. However, this is not Huawei's real achievement. The biggest hole card is actually the open-source HarmonyOS. Some people may be curious, didn't Huawei donate the open-source HarmonyOS to the Open Atom Open Source Foundation? Why is it still considered Huawei's trump card? The reason is that Huawei is also a member of the foundation, and through the foundation, to promote the open-source HarmonyOS to achieve a greater ecological icebreaker. Huawei is tantamount to releasing the King Bomb. So what kind of ecological development performance has the open-source HarmonyOS achieved? According to news from December 28, the Taishan Feihong Series FH Smart 100 development board launched by Fuzhou Huisibo Information Technology Company, Limited passed the OpenHarmony 3.1 release compatibility evaluation. Passing this assessment means that the application field and scope that the open-source HarmonyOS can adapt to has expanded again. What needs to be known is that the FH Smart 100 development board can meet the needs of financial, electric power, mining and other scenarios, and provide distributed interactive capabilities for terminal devices in these scenarios. This is just the tip of the iceberg of the open-source HarmonyOS ecological adaptation. On December 26, Chinasoft International launched the smart home control screen based on the open-source HarmonyOS. It also completed the compatibility evaluation and certification, and the adapted version is OpenHarmony 3.1 release. Among the many adaptation and compatibility tests, most products have the ability to interconnect and interoperate in multiple scenarios. Some start with smart homes, and some start with smartphone terminals to create a multifaceted integrated solution covering life, entertainment, and family. Intelligent platform. Is there hope for Google Fuchsia OS? 3 years after Google cut off the supply, The time has finally come, and today's HarmonyOS system has begun to take shape. Google not only lost a lot of revenue, but also created a formidable opponent for itself. Perhaps Google also knows that the Android system is not suitable for the future. Even though Android is the operating system with the largest number of users in the world, the future era belongs to the Internet of Things. Android has a wide range of applications in smartphones, and it is difficult to extend to other terminal devices. HarmonyOS is completely different, and will be ubiquitous in the era of the Internet of Things. Google is also aware of this, so it is also laying out the Internet of Things operating system to create Fuchsia OS. This is a project that Google has been developing a long time ago, but it has been in a pending state, and even the development has not seen a complete system outline. In the face of the ecological ice-breaking of the open-source HarmonyOS and the stable development of HarmonyOS, is there still hope for Google Fuchsia OS? This probably depends on whether Google can successfully launch Fuchsia OS. Prior to this, there was a lot of news about Fuchsia OS in the industry, but either the main person in charge resigned or a certain project was shelved. In short, the development process of Fuchsia OS did not seem to be very smooth. If Google can't even launch Fuchsia OS, there will be no follow-up. However, the strength of Google cannot be underestimated, and with the Android system as the foundation, Google can introduce the Android code framework into Fuchsia OS, so that once Fuchsia OS is launched on the market, it can quickly be compatible with Android applications and solve ecological problems. As for how far it can be achieved, we need to wait and see. At least for now, Google has no plans to give up research and development. Of course, even if Google launches Fuchsia OS, Huawei also has its own HarmonyOS system, so there is no need to worry about the impact of Google Fuchsia OS. Huawei released Wangjia, which has achieved self-sufficiency at the software system level by relying on its own research and development of the operating system. There is still a lot of room for improvement in the open-source HarmonyOS ecology. It is expected that with the joint participation of domestic manufacturers, it can lay a solid foundation for the development of open-source HarmonyOS. Solid foundation.